super excited. I'm super excited too. I think we should put out a casting call, but how do we let youth know about it?
What? It's really important to let youth know, because I know it can be so, like, insider, outsider sometimes. So let's think, okay, what do youth have access to?
We have newspapers, we have radios, we have Facebook posts. I love Facebook! Let me put it up on Facebook! Oh my goodness. Look at this Facebook post.
Some youth directors are, they're putting out a performance.
I'm gonna send this to my friend. Yeah, that's what's happening. Whoa, I just got a message via Facebook about an audition. I gotta tell my friend Jordan because he has no access to a phone, Facebook, or Twitter. Yo, Jordan!
That sounds like a great time. And that's how it's done.
We are here to talk to you today about outreach to youth and how to market and mentor and empower. Okay, your turn. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So first we'll be talking about how we as youth kind of want to market ourselves. And of course we're going to be loud and we're going to be varied. Because we as youth live in sort of a digital age. We have access to emails, newspaper, radio, posters, and all kinds of social media. And we realize that in our communities, it's so tight-knit that we have pretty easy access to all of this, and we're going to take control. Yeah.
But being that close-knit community, sometimes the people who want to get involved but aren't involved, they don't have access to those secret emails that go out for the casting calls. So we really want to be able to use social media because not only social media, but just like a poster on the wall, and also using the high school to your advantage. And instead of using the theater at having an audition at the theater at 8 o'clock at night, which is like 10 miles from my house, maybe have it at lunchtime. Use the high school timetable to your advantage and hold auditions in the cafeteria at lunchtime or after school, where kids can easily get there. Yeah.
So to advertise these types of things, we thought of offering matinees and early performances so it draws more attention and brings in more youth, because having late shows, obviously some youth aren't able to get out to late shows, so having those early performances and having those earlier opportunities and having them in convenient spaces gives them more opportunity.
We have a bedtime, people. And just in terms of marketing as well. Go to bed at like 8 every night. Yeah. See, we're all on the same page. We're really not that different. Yeah, exactly. But just in terms of marketing as well, I personally believe that social marketing is an incredibly invaluable asset that we have access to, because as we saw in the skit, I don't own a cell phone, and in real life, I don't own a cell phone. So word of mouth is incredibly, incredibly important, especially in small communities. Did you
Yeah. We are going to change this into, we're going to evolve into exposure. Yeah, we're youth for sure, using the huge piece of paper.
Okay, so one of the main barriers that came up a lot in our discussion were poverty and transportation issues. So trying to come up with strategies, and certainly I think a lot of the youth delegates here today were able to come because of the funding available, and that helped so much. So coming up with strategies to help get youth to performances. So thinking about things like discounts, like funding, like bursaries, And then there's all sorts of strategies around transportation. I mean, there's carpooling, but there's also sometimes you need to move. Like, I'm from Renfrew County, which is huge, and so sometimes you have to not always drive to Pembroke, to the eastern side of the province. You need to have things happening so that it switches who is driving the longest distances. Yeah, that's that point.
Don't just offer your trips and performances to elementary school kids. We were talking earlier about the grade 9, grade 10 zone, and those are the youth that you want to get involved in your performances while they're still cool to be part of the performing arts. I mean, the people in grade 12 and grade 13 have been in the performing arts since they were wee. They know how cool it is. You have to attract those grade 9, grade 10s who are the skeptics, get them on board, and so expose them to the performing arts because they're the near future of the performing arts and they're often the group that's neglected.
Yeah, I think the exposure thing is definitely very important because a lot of these programs do exist. Who was talking about the IGO program actually? Yeah, because I'm from near Guelph and we have the IGO program as well. So all through high school it was $5 for me to go and see an opera performance or like a chamber orchestra. And I didn't know about it until grade 12. So I went and saw the Nutcracker this winter and it was a mind-blowing experience. I'd never been to a ballet before, but I just didn't know it was there. And it was only $5 for me to go. And my parents were paying like $40. And you're old and you have to pay for this.
Okay, so, and throughout this process, we've been talking about how do we engage with our communities, and so it's a relationship building process, and yes, that takes time, and it's so valuable and so worth it, and youth are a part of that community. So, and so part of it is building those relationships to find out what do youth want to see, what do youth want to be a part of, and so we want to continue that conversation about how do we build those relationships, and so we're going to transition into our thoughts on mentorship.
Giant piece of paper.
Yes. This is the exciting one.
Okay. So we've been talking a lot about intergenerational work, which has been really inspiring. And so we're talking about connecting youth to mentors through collaborative projects. We also think it's really important to have opportunities for youth to be leaders and for youth to get to have some creative control. So we are, and certainly with adult support, with positivity, adults behind us, adults guiding us with their wisdom, but it's so valuable to have some space to be youth where you're at right there. So we're interested in youth creating projects with youth creating projects with seniors, youth with adults, youth with kids, youth with young professionals, just totally bringing those community groups together.
Yeah, so the final message is, don't give up. The end. Scene.